They say the dead do not return. But what if a promise, deep, heartfelt, unbroken, was strong enough to pull a soul back from the edge of the afterlife? What if love, duty, and a mother's longing could keep a spirit walking quietly among the living? In the quiet corners of Umudi, there's a tale the wind carries gently through the trees. A tale of a soldier who died with honor and returned with love. You may not believe in ghosts, but after this story, you just might. Because sometimes, the ones we lose, never really live. This is the Living Ghost of Umudi. And this is how it all started. Once upon a time, in a small village, Obina was a brave soldier. Before he left for battle, he promised his dear mother that he would fight hard and come back. He told her, "I will not be killed in battle. When I return, I will bring you a family, a daughter-in-law and grandchildren, so you will never be lonely." With this promise in his heart, Obina left his little village, his eyes full of hope and determination. In the heat and clamor of battle far away, Obina fought with all his courage. But one day, amid the sound of drums and the rush of warriors, a mighty blow struck him, and he fell. His body left the world of the living, and his spirit began a long, quiet journey. Soon, he found himself at a misty crossing, a gentle place where the world of the living met the world of the dead. Obina tried to step through into that unknown realm, but deep inside, the promise he made to his mother held him back. The guardians of that threshold whispered softly that his work was not yet finished, and because he still had a promise to keep, they would not let him pass. With a heavy heart, Obina was sent back into the world of the living. Now, as a spirit who had learned to live among the living once more, Obina wandered quietly in the land. He could see every smiling face and hear every gentle word, yet none of the people could see him. For many days he roamed the quiet lanes and green fields, remembering the promise in his heart and the love he carried for his family. One bright morning, while walking along a familiar path near his new village, Obina met a wise old man known as the Dibia, the eyes of the gods, who could see both the living and the dead. The Dibia stopped suddenly, surprised to see the gentle spirit wandering in broad daylight. Obina, astonished by the Dibia's clear sight, asked, "How is it that you can see me, when I know I have lost my body?" In answer, the wise man said softly, "I am the eyes that see both worlds. The gods have given me this gift to know the secret of both the living and the dead." His words were calm and carried ancient wisdom. The Dibia went on, "You, Obina, have not yet finished your task. You must live among the people and keep the promise you made, to return to your mother, to build a loving family, and to watch over this land. You must bear gentle trials when the gods are angry, so that balance is kept. In return, you shall live as a human among the living." Obina listened closely. Though his heart remembered the pain of battle and the mystery of his near passage into death, he felt a spark of hope. With humble agreement, he accepted the Dibia's guidance, and slowly, as if by a gentle miracle, his spirit became fully human once more. Renewed and whole, Obina returned to the world with a human heart beating strong. He wandered the land until he found a quiet village that welcomed him with open arms. It was in this peaceful place that he would one day meet the one who would change his life forever. One bright day by a bubbling stream, as the water danced in the sunlight, Obina saw a young woman carrying a water pot on her head. He called her name softly, Chimoka. When she looked up with kind, curious eyes, their gazes met, and in that simple, magical moment, he knew that she was the one he was meant to love. There was a warm light in her smile that promised gentle beginnings. Before long, Obina and Kayamika became good friends. They talked near the river and shared small, happy moments. Every day, their hearts grew closer through quiet smiles and shared laughter. The people in the village soon saw that Obina was kind and helpful, and they welcomed him into their daily lives, even though no one knew the secret of his past. One cool, moonlit evening, Obina went to Kayamika's house. He knelt on the soft grass and said in a gentle, sincere voice, "I want to marry you, Kayamika. Her family was surprised at first, but when they saw the kind light in his eyes, they agreed. The whole village celebrated the simple, happy wedding with songs and dances under the old tree where Kayamika and Obinna had first exchanged smiles. After the wedding, they built a small house on the edge of the village and planted a little garden together. Life was calm and filled with small joys. In time, their family grew. A sweet 5-year-old daughter and a playful 2-year-old son filled their home with laughter. Yet sometimes, Obinna's eyes would seem to wander, as if he carried a secret sadness that only he knew. One gentle evening, with stars twinkling in the quiet sky, Kayamika gathered her courage and asked, "Obinna, will you take us to your village? I want to know where you come from." Obinna looked at her with a mix of kindness and a quiet sorrow, and after a long pause he replied, "I will take you." The very next morning, Kayamika and their children helped pack a small bag, and Obinna said goodbye for a little while. "I will come back soon," he promised, and he set off on a journey with them. They walked slowly along the village road, passing green fields and whispering trees. The children asked, "Mama, where is Papa's home?" And Kayamika smiled and said, "Soon we will know." After a long walk, the family arrived at a small, old family house at the edge of a distant village. There, Obinna stopped and pointed to the house. "This is my family house. Please go in now, I will join you soon," he said in a calm and sure voice. Then, with a heavy heart, he turned and walked quickly down a distant road until he disappeared from view. Kayamika and the children, filled with gentle hope and a little worry, stepped into the house. Inside, they were met by an old woman with kind, but shocked eyes. "Oh my, this cannot be," she exclaimed softly. "Is this really your husband?" asked the old woman, showing them a faded picture. With a trembling nod, Kayamika replied, "Yes, he is my husband." In a hushed voice full of sorrow, the old woman explained, "My only son, Obinna, went to fight in the army many years ago. I waited for him, but I later heard that he died in battle. They brought his body back to me, and I buried him with love 6 years ago." The words filled the small house with sadness. The old woman then led them outside to a little garden, where under a large, old tree, there was a modest grave with a stone that said Obinna. "This is where he lies," she said softly. Inside the house, she showed them more old letters and a faded photograph of a smiling soldier. "This is your papa," she explained gently. "He loved his promise to his mother and his people, and he fought with all his heart. But he was taken by the battle." Kayamika held the photograph close, feeling both the warmth of his love and the deep sorrow of his loss. For a long, quiet moment, they all sat near the grave. The soft breeze whispered gentle secrets, and Kayamika, holding her children tight, promised to remember him always. Though the truth was very sad, she understood now that the gentle, kind man she had loved had left the world long ago. His promise, however, stayed alive in her heart, the promise he made to his mother and to protect his people. That day, with heavy hearts, Kayamika and her children slowly walked back to their own home. Every step reminded them of the truth about Obinna, yet the love they shared shone bright like a gentle light. That night, as soft winds whispered outside, Kayamika thought she heard a tender promise, "I love you." The sound filled her with warmth and a hint of sorrow, a promise that even though Obinna was gone, his love would always remain. The next morning, the birds sang and the bright sun filled the world with hope. Kayamika told her children, "Our papa is always in our hearts." In the days that followed, she spoke simple, loving stories of him, the kind smile, the brave heart, and the gentleman who once walked among them. Though her heart ached sometimes, she comforted her children with soft songs, happy pictures, and warm hugs. And so, the story of Obinna lived on. His promise was kept in the quiet memories of a small home and in the soft whispers of the wind. Though he was not seen by the living, his love was felt in every gentle moment. His journey from the battlefield, near crossing into the land of the dead, and then returning as a true, loving man had set the stage for a life filled with hope and quiet mystery, a life that would gently carry on in the hearts of those who loved him. This is the story of how Obinna, after leaving for the army with a promise, nearly crossed into the realm of the dead but was sent back because his love and duty were too strong, and how he came to live in the village and meet Kayamika, the woman who would share his gentle promise, building a family and a future from love and bittersweet memory.